Reviving community.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello, you are locked into Revive FM 94.0 on the Power Hour with myself, your host, Louise Power. This show is about community matters, diversity and inclusion, a platform for women, leadership, entrepreneurship and inspirational stories. And my guest today is Vanessa Kanbi. She is, she is a Scottish Ghanaian filmmaker, podcaster and presenter who has a passion to shine a light on untold stories. Vanessa has grown her YouTube channel to 70,000 plus subscribers, over 6 million views. Vanessa has appeared in the likes of BBC Scotland's documentary Black and Scottish and The People's News. Vanessa also has a successful podcast called Magnificent Mothers, and she is a regular on BBC Radio Scotland and STTV. Hello and welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, Louise. How are you?
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I've not seen you in so long. It's like, at least here we are over the radio waves.
Everything's been social, WhatsApp or online, Instagram. But of course, I've been following your journey, rooting for you, seeing you in Ghana and all the amazing things you've been doing.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, I managed to get to Ghana 3 weeks ago, or was it 4 weeks ago now? I went for a week just quickly to do work. But I mean, it was quite interesting because Ghana at the moment, like, they're taking COVID, as the world is, very, very seriously. Yeah. But to go there, you have to get a COVID test 72 hours before you go. And then when you arrive at the airport, they do COVID tests. And actually, the test, you wait for the results. So the results come in 15 minutes, which is so incredible. I mean, it's not cheap at $150. Wow.
It's expensive, but 15 minutes.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really great that they're obviously taking those precautions so that people don't get they try and prevent it coming into the country. But yeah, I was so glad to be able to go because I've been, waiting all of this time that I've been stuck.
Yeah, because normally you would have gone beforehand because you normally go quite regularly, don't you? And you would go and you would have probably been reporting on, Black History Now. Maybe you would have been there now and everything else, wouldn't you? If you can just tell the listeners a little bit about your backstory, just so they get a little bit of an idea about you, even though I know a little bit about you, just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Vanessa Kanbi. Thanks so much for the introduction. My dad's from Ghana and my mum's from Scotland. I was born and raised in Edinburgh in Scotland. And after I finished school, I moved to London for 5 years. I modelled with one of the biggest modelling agencies in the world. After that, I had 2 kids, decided that modelling wasn't really for me anymore. I mean, I still do bits here and there, but it's not like my main thing. Came back to Edinburgh with my family, settled down, as they say. And then I started a cold pressed juice company randomly. And then from there, I started my YouTube channel. And that's what I do now. And it's a career that I really love. So I do sort of like some radio, TV and YouTube stuff. But I love documentaries. I love filmmaking, storytelling, uncovering, stories that haven't been told before. It's my absolute passion.
Yeah, and you do it so well as well. I've seen you go in, and I'm inspired by the work that you do. And I forgot actually that you done modelling.
Yeah, so that was like a big chunk of my life.
What can you tell me, if you could just remind me, like what that was like, that big transition going from modelling to setting up life, family life, and taking it. Obviously, you had you had a great career in modelling for a really big brand name. So what was that transition like?
So when I was modeling, I actually had my son. So I'd say I went back to the size that I needed to be in everything within 3 months. So I went back to modeling, but it was quite difficult because the call times for jobs can be any time, and you only really find out the job you're doing the day before. So it's hard to plan. And I was a single mom at that point, and I was in London, so my family lived in Scotland. So I didn't really have that family support network there. So luckily for me, I had a really good support system in the nursery and the nursery staff. So one of the nursery staff called Claire, she was amazing. She used to come in the morning if I'd have a job in the morning. She would come to my house at like 6 a.m., then take my son to nursery, and then come afterwards.
Shout
I
out
was
there.
Yeah, no, I was so glad. I think especially when you're living outside of, the place where your family is, to find people that you trust with your kids so that you can pursue your career is really important. And so, yeah, I mean, I loved modeling in one sense that, I met amazing people and I had such great experiences, amazing events, parties, that sort of thing. But the other side that I didn't really like was the pressures on being a certain size and maintaining that size that for me was not healthy. And
Yeah.
for me, actually, I don't think it was possible to ever get to the size that they wanted me to be, because even if I could get my waist to that size, my hips were never going to get to that size, because basically your hips is like your bum. That's how they measure it. And
Politically,
as a, like a mixed race woman who has like quite African body shape, that was not possible for me. So like there was just a lot of pressure that I went through, and I don't really believe in the sort of beauty standard. Yeah, they might pick me to go on in a magazine, but that doesn't mean that I'm the only, beautiful person. I think everyone's unique and everybody is beautiful in their own way.
would you say the African hips, the natural hips, the hippier lady, the fuller lady by nature has the modeling industry kind of sets against her a little bit in a type of way?
Yeah, so I would say back then, yes, but I do think that things have changed a lot, because I left London 5 years ago now, and since then there's been a big movement towards, you know, um, natural size, no, not natural, every size is natural, more curvy
The-
women. But I think even then there's a big thing on plus size. I would be considered plus size modeling at the moment, and I'm a size 12. So that just shows you that being a sort of average size is called plus size, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's almost like you think to yourself, it's almost making people automatically feel as though they're disenfranchised out of modeling when
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the case at all. And you spoke about being a single mum
Yeah.
and modeling, and of course, how impacting that is on your time and trying to find somebody that you can trust, and all the things that us mums have to go through when we're thinking on our feet as a single mum and having a career that we love. Was this the reason that you started Magnificent Mothers? Was this part of the reason that you started the Magnificent? How was Magnificent Mothers born?
So actually, Magnificent Mothers came sort of later. That came after I had my daughter. So I've got a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. After I had my daughter, I got severe anxiety, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I couldn't leave the house on my own, pretty much. I couldn't drive for about a year and a half. I couldn't go into a shop. So like a supermarket was not possible for me. I mean, it was very horrible. And it was not a nice time, but I had no idea what it was. I was going to the doctors. They told me that it was low iron. I was taking iron tablets. My iron was back up. I felt the same. And then they basically said to me, no, then I was doing my own research, and I was looking at sort of life coaches, and some of it came up saying, this is what anxiety is. And I thought, that's exactly what I have. So then I went to therapy. That helped. But what really, really helped was women's circles. So it was basically going and speaking in a circle of women and sharing experiences. And then that's when I realized that, everybody's going through something. And once you realize that and you've shared your experience, it really helps to, overcome what you are dealing with. And so that's when I decided to start Magnificent Mothers, because I thought, loads of mothers are going through different things. People have overcome, hardship, but also there's mothers that have done really great things that need to be praised.
Yeah, that is so powerful. When you spoke about the anxiety and you said that you didn't really realize that you had it, do you remember, was there something that might have triggered it, or you literally just had that sudden onset of a feeling that something just doesn't feel right? I just don't feel, I'm scared to go out. I just don't feel so sure. Do you remember that having a thought or something happening, or just the feeling itself?
So what happened was I had mastitis from breastfeeding, which is basically like engorged breast from breastfeeding. And I fainted onto my bed, And I just remember my husband shouting like, Vanessa, Vanessa, but I was
Oh
not
my goodness.
aware. And then, so basically from then on, I felt like I was going to faint. So that was what the anxiety was. I felt like I was going to faint. And that's why I couldn't leave the house without anybody with the kids, because all I would think about was, if I fainted and the kids were here, what is going to happen to them? And then same in the car. Like I basically had sort of panic attacks in the car, because I just thought, if I fainted, what's going to happen to the kids? And so that's when but people were telling me it was something else. So that's when, I figured it out.
I get it. Like, I've had anxiety before, and it can be really debilitating. Like, I get it a lot when I travel. The anxiety of traveling. I'm actually extremely claustrophobic. But I know how you just feel powerless when you have the anxiety, and you can have a panic attack actually and be around people nobody knows.
Yeah, definitely. But I think what was really helpful about cognitive behavioral therapy was that it did give me the tools to deal with those situations. I think it gave me the tools to like drive again. I wouldn't say that it dealt with the issue at all. I don't think it got to the core of the issue for me, but it did help me to like get back driving, get back going into shops, and it was that exposure therapy where you do it little by little, so I might drive to the end of the road and then from there, drive around the corner, and just like getting myself used to it to see that, yeah, you can do this. Because there was a point when I thought, is this going to be it forever? Am I just going to, I actually thought, first of all, I thought it was crazy. And I just thought, I can't believe, because I've come from such a life in London where I was like so free, so, going out and having just the time of my life, to basically being in the house.
You never had restrictions. Would you recommend that cognitive therapy to other women? If there's other mothers here out there listening now, single mothers or mums in general feeling really overwhelmed, we're in a lockdown at the moment, would you recommend perhaps cognitive therapy or some of these things and steps that you took to get yourself through the other side?
Yeah, so I think that there's different things work for different people. I don't think that the same thing works for everybody. But yeah, CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy was definitely one thing that helped me in the journey, that along with women's circles, which is basically just speaking to people that you don't really know that well. Because I feel like sometimes when you're speaking to your family, some people say that that's a good idea, but it's not always, you don't feel comfortable, always like opening fully up. But sometimes when you're speaking to people you don't really know, it's easier. So I found that really helpful. And I also went to Reiki, which I also really love and found really helpful as well.
My friend done that once, and I was her dummy. I was her model.
Oh, really?
when she practiced. And to be honest, when she first said, I remember having a little giggle thinking, what's going on here? Because it's quiet, isn't it? Nothing.
Did you like it?
I really did. I think I fell asleep.
Yeah, I fall asleep as well. And I mean, that shows that you're in such a deep relaxation state.
I was chilled. I was proper chilled. Even thinking about it, I feel like, yeah, man, I'm proper chilled. And so you went on and done Magnificent Mothers. And then is that when you started working at the BBC and you began then going on and doing some shows on that? Tell us about that.
So yeah, basically I started my YouTube channel and then I applied with BBC The Social, which is a platform. They have like short clips. It's run by BBC Scotland, and I applied to do that. And so I started making videos for BBC The Social. And then from that, I started doing some radio on BBC Radio Scotland, did some stuff with like Fourth One, which is another radio broadcaster. And then I have done, TV since then. So I've been on Black and Scottish, which is a documentary on BBC Scotland. And it was really amazing, showing the stories of Black people in Scotland. And I was also on something called The People's News, which is a show. It's kind of like Gogglebox, but in Scotland. Right. So I did that with my dad actually in the second series. And then in the third series, it was a virus lockdown series where it was just about like me and what I was up to in the house with the kids and stuff like that during lockdown. And then I've created content for CNN and loads of other people now as well.
It's amazing. Did you always have an aspiration to be out there as a presenter, you know, speaking to people, getting the untold stories and putting yourself out there in a creative way? Was that something within you, like from childhood, for example?
So my dad always used to call me VBC instead of BBC because it's ever since I was like really young, because basically I would ask people a million questions, you know, when they'd come to our house or whatever. I would just ask them. I had no fear in asking every single question, and so he used to call me that. But then no, like when I was modeling, I didn't even think about, you know, presenting or anything like that. I even had friends back then, actually looking back, that had like really have to this day really successful YouTube channels, and I never thought, oh, I'm going to do that or anything like that. But I always loved documentaries. That's probably like the only thing that I really watch on TV. And then when I moved back to Scotland, my dream was always to open a restaurant. So that's when I started my cold pressed juice company, and it was going well. I was selling it at markets, I was selling it to cafes, but it was just so much work.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm actually not, I'm not shy of doing a lot of work, but it was almost unmanageable with the kids, especially because my daughter was just born. I started it when I was pregnant. My daughter was just born. I was selling them at markets, so I couldn't really leave her and stuff when she was that small. So that's when I was like, what can I do in the house that, you know, is going to be quite creative and that I'm going to enjoy? And so that's when I started my YouTube channel. And I knew that it would be a long journey to, you know, let's say success or people watching me. But, you know, I got there in the end.
I know, so inspiring. What was the breakthrough moment? Because obviously you get the moment where you're in the house, your daughter's running around, you just start creating this content, you get your little camera and you start interacting with the audience, but then you go from that moment to where you are now, it's sort of like 12,000 followers. What was your breakthrough moment where you think, I'm onto something here, this feels good?
So on my Instagram, I've got 12,000, but on my YouTube, I've got 70,000. And so when that happened, you know, it's like gradual. So it's not like an overnight thing. But I used to create content about parenthood when I first started, because that's what I was kind of surrounded by. But then it was never my like dream to be a stay-at-home mom, which is pretty much what I ended up being when I had my daughter. And so after she got a bit older, when I was going to Ghana and making vlogs, they were doing really, really well. And then I thought, why don't I just create content about Ghana? It's somewhere that I love. You know, my dad's from there. I've been going ever since I was 2 years old. I could literally talk about the place forevermore. And so then I decided to change the direction of my content and make it solely about Ghana. So I did that last year, August. And that is when I saw the real shift. So then I was probably on about 3,000 subscribers. And now a year later, I'm on 70,000. So I'd say that changing the direction of my content, but also because it's something that I'm so passionate about. I think I was interested in sharing my experience with birthing and sort of natural birth and everything like that. But I don't think I am the sort of person to be giving any sort of tips out about parenting. Because I'm the most unorganized person you might ever meet. So I think that it probably wasn't the niche for me, but, you know, it got me started. And I think, you know, everything that I've done along this journey, and, you know, I'm just at the start of this career, really. So like everything to come in the future as well, everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. We're going to go into a short commercial break. Please do not touch that dial. We'll be right back after the break. Back with Vanessa Kanbi, finding all about, look, tongue ties it, finding out about her entrepreneurship and her journey. And we'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
If you're looking for a unique bespoke cake made especially for your big day, then look no further. Here at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, we design some of the most imaginative and delicious home-baked cakes for your special occasions. We do fresh cream, buttercream, eggless and vegan cakes. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, or just call 07932 665 833. That's 07932 665 833.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists. We do new boiler installations, full house central heating systems, underfloor heating, boiler repairs, boiler servicing, and gas safety certification for landlords. With some of the best prices in town, there's no job too big or too small for our qualified engineers. For a free, no obligation quote, contact us now on 07956 282 948. Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_london@minhajuk.org.
Super Best Meze Grill, the Turkish restaurant where all our food is prepared to perfection. Our mixed grill family platters include lamb shish, Adana kebab, lamb ribs, chicken doner, lamb doner, chicken wings and lamb chops, and all are served with rice, salad, along with a selection of our cold mezes. To see our full menu, go to superbestmezegrill.co.uk. For the perfect dining setting, visit us now at 21 to 23 Broadway, Stratford, E15 4B, or call 0208 555 3335. Super Best Meze Grill.
I came over from the Caribbean on my mother's passport in 1962. So when my right to live here was questioned, it broke me. I was afraid, and to be honest, I was skeptical about calling the Windrush Help Team. But my husband persuaded me, and I'm so glad I found the courage. The team have been really great. Now I've got the right documents and compensation too. It doesn't change what happened, but it helped. To find out if they could help you too, visit gov.uk/Windrush Help Team.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile
and online.
Hello and welcome back. You are locked into Revive FM 94.0 on the Power Hour. This show is about community matters, diversity and inclusion, a platform for women, leadership and entrepreneurship. And today in the studio, I have Vanessa Kanbi. She is a Scottish Ghanaian filmmaker, podcaster and presenter. Welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome back. Sorry, I forgot to tell Vanessa before that we go into two commercial breaks, so she wasn't even expecting.
Oh, it's fine.
So we was talking about your journey, which is completely inspirational, and you was talking about just how that you was a model and then you became a mummy, and you was a single mum at the time, still modeling, and then you moved to Scotland and you became a mummy again, but then this time you was working from home, and you experienced lots of different things, including anxiety, and you began looking more at your creative side. So you started your podcast at home, your live podcast, and started streaming, and then went on to have a YouTube channel, and you now have 70,000 followers on YouTube and 12,000 followers on Instagram. And you've been blessing us by telling us some of the wonderful things about your story and how you got there and what led you to this experience where you went to Ghana and focused on your love and your passion for Ghana, and then began as a presenter, telling I guess the being a voice for the voiceless of the Ghanaian people. So if you just want to just continue telling us about what you're doing in Ghana and how that has impacted others, because I know you've got so many followers now, other people like you who love Ghana so much, who are following your journey and taking your advice and hearing everything you've got to say about, your home country, the love of Ghana and Scotland. And so if you just tell me a little bit about how it's been going and what you've been doing in Ghana.
So I initially, as I was saying, I made vlogs about, my traveling and, going out partying, going to nice hotels, everything like that. That's how I sort of started the videos about Ghana. That's what sparked people's interest. And so I started doing a bit more of that, showing different restaurants, showing different hotels, different places to, go, places to stay. And then I realized that actually there's so many African Americans and also people from the UK and Europe that want to move to Ghana. We're at a time when people aren't necessarily happy where they're living, especially if they have been, taken to a place like, Africans born in America or African Americans. And the story is just actually horrific. And so a lot of people feel like, they want to move back to their roots. And when I realized that, I decided to sort of also incorporate their needs in sharing what life is like there. So I interview people about, their experience living in Ghana, people that have moved from the diaspora back to Ghana, how they've done that, people that have started businesses, different real estate that's available. My real estate videos are really popular. I mean, I'm really nosy, so I love to look inside people's houses. I really loved MTV Cribs when it was on. Yeah.
I want to speak about the lady's house you went into was making the chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I'm looking to build myself in Ghana. So I was looking at houses in this area, which is in the mountains, and it's so cool. Yeah. So I was just Googling it. And then I came across her. She has a blog. So I came across pictures of her house and I thought, wow, I've never seen anything like that in Ghana before, or actually anywhere in the world.
I know, right?
And so I messaged her and I said, I kind of didn't expect her to let me in her house. Look at me already trying to have it for myself. In her house.
I don't know your name, but she's moving. She's moving in. She's got plans.
I know. So yeah, I didn't know if she would say yes, because it's a big thing to let someone in your house and interview you about your life. But she agreed, and I'm so grateful that she did, because that video has inspired so many people of the possibilities of, what you can do in Ghana and what you can build. And also she shared, even how much it costs to build that house. And so people realized that actually it's, because you'd look at that house and you'd probably think it would cost about £2 million pounds. But, it cost her like 250,000 pounds to build it. And when you see it, it's unreal. Swimming pool, it's on an acre of land. She's got a kids play area there. It's over 2 steps, levels. Honestly, you guys just have to see it. Check out my YouTube channel and you will see that video. But that video's done 400,000 views in 2 weeks.
So it's one of my chocolate, homemade chocolate, didn't she?
She made me this incredible chocolate. I love chocolate. If you didn't know, that's probably one of my favorite things to eat, which is not great. But she made me this chocolate and it had coconut flakes in it. It was incredible. And also, I was on camera, and when you watch people eating things on camera and you just think, do they actually like that? So I was kind of nervous, is this going to be nice or is this not going to be nice? Because either way, I'm going to have to say it's really nice.
Yeah.
But when I tasted it, it was delicious.
Oh my gosh, I love chocolate too. I've been on a diet, but plenty of days I dream about tasting chocolate. I have my cheat days. It's Friday today, so I might be able to have a little piece of chocolate.
Oh, nice. When I used to model, I used to cut things out. I didn't eat chocolate for probably 2 years. But yeah, same. I used to dream about it. I cut crisps out and I used to dream about crisps. That's weird.
The best, aren't they? Especially when you haven't had them for ages. You're like, oh, it's just got that euphoric feeling. And So you done, you go and you sit with people, you get to know a little bit about them and their life, and based off of these videos and these people that you see, you have an audience of people that are interested in Ghana or visiting there or living there, that you connect the dots. So actually, if you're thinking about going to Ghana, what Vanessa's platform does is gives you that comfortability of knowing the process when you get there, the kinds of places where people stay. If you're thinking of actually going there to live, a little bit about the process and the kinds of places and properties that people go and build as well. So all of these interests are things that were just part of you since you were young. Like you went to Ghana and you just soaked it all up from a young age.
Yeah, I mean, when I used to go when I was younger, obviously I was there with my family, so it was a different experience to now. And I'd say when I was going when I was younger, I also absolutely loved it. Like we've got this big family house, which I say big because loads of people live there rather than it being, big because it's just big with space. No, a lot of people live there. I don't know if you know sort of traditional African houses. Yeah, exactly. But I loved that because here in Scotland, we lived in like a ground floor flat, which as well was really nice. But, it was just us and our family. Whereas I'd go to this house, our house in Ghana, which was like a family house with, loads of people in there. There was loads of kids for me to play with on the compound. I would be running about and it just felt like freedom. And then when I got to age 16, that's when I started to make friends outside of my family. Do love my family, but it's nice when you start making friends outside of your family, because then you realize that this is somewhere that I want to go. And that's when I started finding out about the clubs and the amazing sort of nightlife scene. That's what I was interested in at that time. I do not really go clubbing anymore, but yeah, I realized that it was so cool and there was so many amazing people and things going on there. That is so different from the way that they portray Africa and Ghana to the rest of the world. And that's not to say that there isn't poverty in Ghana. There's definitely poverty that needs to be addressed, but there is also people that are doing incredible things. There's an amazing creative scene, art scene, like even film scene. Oh my gosh, Black is King, they filmed some of that in Ghana. There's just so much going on that I don't think is praised enough.
And I know your top is like a print top. Oh, I love that. And my son is a Ghana boy too,
Yeah, that's so cool.
He's Ghanaian, so he's a Shanti.
So is my dad actually. So yeah, so am I.
It's a tree, yeah. So you guys are, from the same place as well. So
practically related.
Practically related. You know what I'm saying, babe? We're practically family. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about that actually. It's Black History Month, right? And it's about information as well. People tapping into different experiences. Yeah, the untold stories. Scottish and Ghanaian. What would be on the table on a Sunday? What was the traditions in terms of food? Dad with his Ghanaian food, mum with her Scottish traditions. How was that at home growing up? That must have been beautiful.
So the thing is, right, my dad he cooks, so he cooks basically for him. Do you know what, he probably would have cooked for us as well, but I don't think that like stew and stuff was really on our minds at that time. I was just like, oh Dad, like why does it smell like that, whereas we more had just a sort of like, what would I say, I basically feed my kids the same stuff, but we didn't have like a really wide range of food or anything like that. I definitely saw my dad cooking his food, but I didn't really have it because, we weren't like forced to have it or anything. And then at school, we were having just what you would get at school. And then I was having a similar thing at home. But now I'm vegetarian. So I've been vegetarian for 5 years, which does make it a little bit tricky in Ghana because, there is a lot of meat and fish involved in the cooking. But I do really love plantain. I love red is my favorite dish, which is basically like, it's like a sort of bean stew amazing. Jollof, another one of my faves, but then I found out that a lot of them use chicken stock. But recently, so I stopped eating it for years, but recently I just found out that actually the chicken stock that they use doesn't actually have chicken in it, so it's vegetarian. So I'm like, yes, it's back on the menu.
Oh yeah, because it's not real chicken, it's just like a chicken flavor.
Exactly.
I love Ghanaian food. I love fufu. I love kenke.
Oh wow.
Okra stew. I bake the stew for my son because his uncle taught me how to make it, how to blend the ginger and the onions and the tomatoes, and you blend it all together and you make. Oh my gosh! Honestly, I love it so much. If I could have it without worrying about anything health wise or weight wise, I would have it all the time. I just love it. And I've never had Scottish food. Did you grow up?
I'm like, what is Scottish food? I mean, haggis.
Yeah, I never did. I've never had traditional Scottish.
I honestly, apart from haggis, which I never ate when I was growing up, but now I do eat vegetarian haggis. It's really nice, but it's not haggis because haggis is like, I'm not even getting into what it is, but it's not something that was it's something I would eat back then or now. But yeah, apart from that, fish and chips. I do love like chips, and it's just the same sort of stuff you get in London, really.
Yeah.
What is English food?
Well, a Sunday roast.
Okay, yeah, they have that here as well.
Puddings. It's not really English. Well, yeah, it's British, but from different places. So we have a bit of Yorkshire puddings, and then like the roast chicken, or some people go for other things. They do like roasted butternut squash and things like that. If they're not having meat, but if you're Caribbean, like my family, we'll have like traditional rice and peas, and plus our chicken, but might have some curry goat. I know you don't really eat that though, B, but yeah.
I love Caribbean food. When I lived in London, oh my gosh, I had this Caribbean like restaurant on tap. I was eating meat back then. It was the best dumplings. Oh my gosh, honestly, you're just bringing back memories.
Bringing back memories. What's the temperament in Scotland for African and Caribbean restaurants? Are there many?
No. There is some. So there's one, I think it's like a French Caribbean restaurant, but it's not got that sort of food in there. It's like fine dining, basically French food.
Yeah.
So it's not. I've not been there. I'm not really a fine dining kind of gal. And there's not really that many like African restaurants. There used to be a takeaway that I used to go to a lot, which is closed, which is really sad. But there is like just around the corner from me, there is like hair shops and places like that. But there is definitely
it's slowly but surely.
I mean, I live in Edinburgh, so in Glasgow, for example, which is another city, there is more going on because there's a bigger like African and Caribbean community. There is also an African and Caribbean community in Edinburgh, but it's bigger over there. So. Yeah.
More in Glasgow. Well, please do not touch that dial. We'll be right back. And when we come back, I'd like to ask you a little bit about any expat stories. And I think I might touch on those hair shops as well and find out a little bit about what's going on over there in Scotland with the hair shops. So we'll be right back. Please do not touch that dial. You're locked into the Power Hour on Revive FM.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you.
Hands.
Face.
Space. As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Super Best Meze Grill, the Turkish restaurant where all our food is prepared to perfection. Our mixed grill family platters include lamb shish, chicken shish, Adana kebab, lamb ribs, chicken doner, chicken wings, and lamb chops. And all are served with rice, salad, along with a selection of our cold mezes. To see our full menu, go to superbestmezegrill.co.uk. For the perfect dining setting, visit us now at 21 to 23 Broadway, Stratford, E15 4B, or call 0208 555 3335. Super Best Meze Grill.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
The new NHS COVID-19 app shows me my risk of coronavirus and helps me protect my mum.
It lets me know fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can quickly warn Dan.
It shows me the risk level in my area immediately, so I can tell Sue.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, like Kim and Chris.
The more of us who get the app,
the better we can control coronavirus.
Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
Hello, I'm Ria from the Windrush Help Team. If you came to the UK before the end of 1988 and are struggling to prove your legal status, I could help. You may also be entitled to compensation. I'm here to answer your questions and talk you through the application process. Anything you tell us will be treated sensitively and won't be passed on to immigration enforcement. Visit gov.uk/Windrush Help Team.
The Windrush Help Team, here to support you and your family.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah, and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Hello and welcome back to the Power Hour with myself, Louise Power, and my guest, Vanessa Kanbi. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
We was having a really good conversation there about your mixed heritage in with Ghana and Scotland, and you telling me all about what you've been doing over there with your channel, your YouTube channel, and bridging the gap between, well, I was going to say the UK, but different parts of the world and Ghana, and exposing your love for Ghana and giving people the opportunity to get real insight about what the country is, what the country is all about. I would like to know, do you have any expat stories or any feedback from anybody that's been really heavily influenced to move over there or start business there? Do you have any stories?
So actually in January when I went to Ghana to film, and also I should say I have two kids, so obviously I live in Scotland and they go to school here, and that's why I can only go for short periods of time. If we lived there, whatever, obviously I could be there for longer, but maybe in the future, watch the space. So yeah, in January I flew in, and at that point I maybe had like 13,000 subscribers, and at the airport somebody came, I was waiting for my bags and they were going around the carousel, and this guy came up to me and was like, Vanessa Kanbi, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the first time that had ever happened to me. And he said, I actually just moved to Ghana because of your YouTube channel. And I was just like, oh my gosh, wow. And also, because I obviously live here, I don't, I'm not there all the time. I can't really see the impact of the channel, day to day, because my target audience probably, there isn't that many people in Scotland. So I just thought that's so cool. And he was like, yeah, and my kids are coming over. And he basically got a job. He was working at like the US embassy or something like that. But I just realized then, like, wow, actually somebody moved. And Ghana wasn't even on his agenda. He was looking at where he can go, what embassy he can go to. So he could have gone anywhere in the world pretty much. And he stumbled across one of my videos, and then from there fell in love with the country. And that was his first time arriving. He'd never even gone to see if he liked the place properly. He had trusted my videos to up sticks from America and moved to Ghana, which made me feel like really happy that, you know, my videos are actually impacting people in that way.
You're changing lives.
Pardon?
You're changing people's lives.
Exactly. And also, you know, people are like, oh, you should get the Ghana Tourism Authority to, you know, cut your check. And I'm like, hello, I am here. You know, if they ever fancy doing that, I am definitely open to it. And then last time I was there, you know, a lot of people came up to me and said, you know, how much they enjoyed the channel, and you know, how they had followed actually as well in January, a family, 2 daughters and a mum came up to me and said, you know, they'd gone to like a lot of the places that I had mentioned and sort of used it as like a tour guide. So I just thought, wow, that's so amazing. It's just so nice that I can be doing something that is actually helping people, even if it's just in a small way of even just seeing Ghana and thinking, wow, that's an incredible place. Like that makes me happy alone. But if they're literally moving their lives there and thinking that, you know, obviously I must be doing something right.
You're doing something, and it's mobility. It's the sharing of information. It's social mobility. You know, it's the fact as well that you could be enlightening lots of different people from Scotland, perhaps, that would have never, ever thought about going to West Africa. And then people from West Africa that might be thinking about coming here. So I think that what you're doing is you actually are creating a footprint. Don't underestimate what you're doing, because what you're doing is actually changing shape and changing the lives of generations to come. So it's a big thing. So shout out to the Ghanaian government. Please get in touch with me, okay? All right, so that we can have a conversation about all the work that my friend has been doing, right?
Oh, thanks. Actually, what was I going to say there? I totally can't remember. You were talking.
I was talking about the mobility and the what
that was it. Yeah. So people that I really would have never imagined, you know, would have wanted to go here in Scotland have said to me, you know, that follow me from kind of before, have said, wow, like I really want to go to Ghana on holiday now. And I just think that's so great because, you know, it was never really like a tourist attraction or anything. But what they did do, the government really well, which was the year of return. So that's what really sparked the interest of a lot of African Americans to move back, because it was really targeted at African Americans. You know, it was 400 years since the first documented slave ship left the shores of Ghana, pretty much, to America. And so it was calling back, you know, come back home, you know, our brothers and sisters. And so that really, you know, had an impact and also attracted a lot of people to the country. And they invited over loads of celebrities. I was there actually during that time, and I don't know if you've seen Precious, you know, the film.
Yes, I have. I've seen.
So she was in my hotel. I can't remember her name.
Yana.
Yeah, I think so. So I saw her in my hotel and I thought, is that her? And it can't be. So I just kept going. And then later I saw somebody tag her in a picture and I was like, wow, people are really here in Ghana, you know?
Yeah, I think the year of return tapped into people that are all over the world. And it was acknowledging that the slave trade was as big as it is. And actually it was transparent about the things that happened. And it was saying, no matter where you are or where you've ended up as part of the generational slave trade that happened, you know, now we're a couple of 100 years later, you're welcome back here. And that's really, really powerful because, you know, the slave trade spanned across, you know, lots of different countries across the African continent. But I think Ghana, I'm not sure if other countries have done it, but Ghana was quite unique in making everybody feel welcome. And I know there are lots of people in America and Canada that have all gone to live in Ghana and have no family from Ghana, and, you know, no connect, but just feel a sense of home and belonging, that actually they feel quite welcome to go back.
I mean, going to a country where, you know, pretty much everyone's Black is so different. You know, it's so incredible. Like for me, I mean, I'm mixed race, but being around everyone that you can kind of relate to. I mean, here in Scotland, I just feel like there's certain things, you know, sort of like microaggressions, you know, that you have to deal with. People say things, you know, they're not meaning to be mean, but you know, it's just when it's day in, day out, sometimes it's like, oh, you know, the other day I went into a shop and the whole people always wanting to touch my hair has gone on since I was a child. But this woman brought it with a sort of different angle. She said, oh, I really love your hair. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then she said, but do you like it though? And I was like, hang on a second. So hang on, so you just give me a compliment. And now you're trying to twist it round. I was like, wow, that's a new one. You know, I have people saying, can I touch your hair? And then I say no, and then they touch it anyway. And you know, there's all that stuff here. Whereas there, I don't, you know, people aren't bothered about my hair because there's, you know, so many other people with the same hair.
There's lots of other people that look like you.
Yeah.
You're not standing out as much. Do you
Although
feel
to be fair, like even as a mixed race person, you know, because you're obviously like, I'm both Scottish and Ghanaian. Over there, you know, they also do see me as, some people call me Obroni, which basically means white.
So that again, it chipped out a bit. Say it again, Obron.
Sorry, Obroni, which basically means white person. So some people there would say that to me, and here obviously people have their own opinions as well. So it's not like, you know, there's anywhere that is 100%. But what I would say is that in Ghana, I do feel much more of a sense of belonging. I feel like people in general, they are much more welcoming and open people. Scottish people actually are as well. But there's just something about it, you know. It's just like there's a pool that goes on there. And London, I'd say London, like I made amazing friends in London, but generally walking around, there isn't that. There's a big sort of everyone out for themselves kind of mentality.
Yeah. We're going to have to end the show soon, but I remember when I first started my presenting journey, and you and I had a conversation about when you were younger and about, you know, I think you told me just a little story about your hair and you know, when you were younger, and I think being made to feel a bit different. Do you remember that? If you got 1 minute just before he tells me to end.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my mum, like, she found a black hair shop for me to get my hair done when I was like from 5 years old, which was really great actually for me to connect with people, but also so that, like, you know, she didn't have to do my hair. And then one time that person wasn't available, she did it, had to get my hair shaved off. But after that, actually, I had braids in my hair, and I went to school, and they basically tried to say, you can't have braids, you know, like blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I don't actually remember how it went, but all I do know is they eventually put into the rules at school that, you know, it was a cultural thing, and so that I was allowed to have braids. But obviously I went through a period of them not being that happy with it.
Not being that happy. Yeah, it's, I suppose, hopefully now, you know, the way that people are coming out and speaking about their experiences, there's some lessons being learnt there. History Month, so I'm hoping that people are listening in, and you know, they're able to watch over our show a few times and take in that information. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you, as part of Black History Month, is there anybody that sort of inspired you growing up, or goes on to inspire you now, or you know, as part of your career or motivation?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, I mean, I'd say that my family, you know, my dad, he always inspired me to do what I want to do. So did my mom. But yeah, you know, like, you can do whatever you want to do, which is exactly what I pass down to my kids. Because without that, then you might feel like you need to be a certain thing, like a lawyer or a doctor. And I feel like there is quite a lot of African parents that can, you know, put you down that road. So I was really grateful that my dad gave me that. And he also he moved from Ghana to the UK to pursue a musical journey. Like, he's a guitar player, and he was quite successful in that at the time. And so, he's the sort of like go-getter, like dream catcher. So that really inspired me.
Oh.
And then when I was in London, actually, I met a lot of people, a lot of friends who were really successful in their fields, and just seeing the work ethic that they put in and that they managed to achieve such success gave me so much inspiration, because I realized that these people around me are like, some of them like the biggest artists, in that industry, and different things like that. To see that was possible with my own eyes around me was just incredible, because you might see these things on TV but you never actually know how much work goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. And
so it's not yeah, exactly. Nothing that's worth having comes easy, as they say. So things are hard work. But then, you can get there. That is the inspiring thing. You actually can do anything. You just have to have that dedication. And you might trip up a few times, but you will get there in the end.
One brick at a time. Thank you so much for joining me today. You look absolutely stunning, by the way. You're beautiful on the outside and on the inside. Yeah, and I thank you for joining me, and it's been really, it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Thanks so much for having me, Louise.
Share this information, and other people get to subscribe to Vanessa's YouTube channel and follow her on Instagram to find out what she's doing, and hopefully some of these people that are connected in Ghana, the higher powers, and
so it's just Vanessa Kanbi, which is Kanbi, if you want to check me out on YouTube, Instagram, and just
Thank you for coming on the Power Hour today. You have been an amazing guest. Thank you to all the listeners. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place. And I'll connect with you again soon, Vanessa, and I'll be keeping up with what you're doing.
Great, thanks. See you later.
In Ghana as well, hopefully one day.
See you in Ghana. Bye.
See you in Ghana. We have a little meme. See you in Ghana. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.